My mission, I believe, first and foremost, is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. I am an outgoing lover of Jesus Christ. I'm a person who loves quiet time. I love authentic relationships. I'm a lover of drinking coffee and reading my Bible in the morning. I love to learn. Oh my gosh, I'm a consummate person when it comes to reading and wanting to learn and to grow and expand. I don't want to stay static. I always want to be moving and shifting, evolving, growing, thriving, becoming all that God has called for me to be. So I'm definitely a very motivated person. I'm driven. I grew up in Brooklyn, East New York, in an urban setting in the project, and I saw something very evil, something very addictive, something horrific come into that urban community called crack cocaine. And I saw violence and drug use explode in a way I had never seen. I believe that it was during that time, my early formative years of being a young Christian, that I knew I was called to help people. I moved into social work. I went to college and, studied sociology and psychology, and just always was inclined towards, how can I help somebody? Social work is not a passion for me, but it aligns with my desire to help transform people's lives. Because as a social worker, I got a chance to live out my faith every day. I got a chance, like Jesus, to serve humanity through my work. And I saw myself when I was helping those families. I thought about myself. If a social worker came knocking on my single parent mother's door when we were kids, how would I have wanted that social worker to respond? My mother was the one that led me to Christ. When I wanted to know what salvation was, it was my mother that said, let me lead you into the things of God. I remember waking up and hearing my mother listening to the Rev R.W. Schambach and Bishop Bonner, and on Saturday evening, my mother kept the word going in the house. And so when you think about somebody that influenced me, it was definitely her. I can't think of anyone more that has formulated who I am today than Louise Pittman. Ministry is not just what you do in church. You're an usher, you're a deacon, you're serving food, at the food pantry. Those things are wonderful and it is necessary. But you're in ministry every single day, because ministry at its core means to serve. You can utilize your anointing for teaching in an elementary school, on a college campus as a professor, to be able to dissect information in a way that leaves an indelible mark on a child. And you're able to teach them when they may not have had the ability to learn, and you're able to disseminate information in a way that brings clarity, or you're able to utilize the gift of prophecy because you can forecast markets and you can forecast what trends that are coming 10, 20 years from now, to be able to set the course of where we're going with innovation. We do not understand that God gave you those giftings for whatever He has anointed you for. What is uncompromised? Well, when I think about uncompromised, it's definitely something that's different. It's something that is definitely God-breathed. It's a ministry I believe that God is using in the 21st century to help build the capacity of believers to be successful in whatever sphere of influence He's called them to, whether that is in ministry in the four walls of the church, or particularly more targeted ministry in the marketplace. I believe that God wants His people to be successful, to be innovative, to be creative, to walk in the grace and the anointing that He has called them to in whatever capacity that is. And I want to teach people how to do that, to be successful, to be glory carriers wherever they are, but to do it without compromising their biblical values. That's what being uncompromised is. That's what this ministry is about. The world is going to try to shape you, and the only one that should have the ability to shape your life is Jesus Christ. We need the gifts of God operating in the world so that people can see that there is still a supernatural God who's doing supernatural things, and that can happen through you.
God bless you. Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see everybody. God bless you. God bless you. Welcome to this wonderful, impactful conversation called Everyday Voices, where everyday people are doing extraordinary things. I'm so glad to have you tune in with us on this Sunday evening, the Sunday after Christmas. And I want to just share to those of you that are watching online, wherever you're watching from, whether you're watching now or you'll be watching later, I pray that you had a very peaceful, a very restful Christmas holiday. And we're so thankful to God that because of his great gift, the gift that keeps on giving in the person of Jesus Christ, that we also can have that abundant life. And I'm so grateful for the greatest gift that I could have ever received, and that was Jesus Christ. And so thank you so much, everybody, for being here on Uncompromised Movement, whether you're watching live on Facebook or watching live on YouTube. We want to welcome you and all that are watching to this virtual space. I am extremely, extremely excited. And so I am thankful because you could be anywhere at this time. There's so many people that you can watch, but there is only one place I believe that you can be stirred for your marketplace assignment. And that is right now here at Uncompromised Movement. So know that your time vested in this virtual space will not go wasted. And so thank you again for being a part of us today. And so I just want to thank you for those of you that have joined us. Can you believe that we are at the end of 2020? And I know many of you are ready to scream and says, yes, I am so ready for 2020 to be gone. But you know, the scripture says that in everything to give thanks. And so I believe that even in this challenging year that we've had, that we can find reasons to be grateful. And so let's choose to be grateful, even though we are excited for the beginning of a brand new year. And we are believing God that God is going to continue to be God and do some great and supernatural things. And so while you're watching, I don't want you just to watch this great night alone. I want you to hit that share button. I want you to hit that like button for Uncompromised on Facebook. I want you to deputize yourself and say, I'm going to share this conversation tonight because it is going to be fun. It's going to be impactful. And for those of you who have not yet subscribed to my YouTube page, I want you to go right now. If you're not already there, I want you to go right now or after this broadcast and watch and share and subscribe on YouTube at Uncompromised Movement, because we are going to be doing a lot of these great conversations. You know, you saw earlier in the year, we did Uncompromised Conversations, where I brought in other people to dialogue about issues impacting believers in the marketplace. And so this is my one of my series in the conversational series called Everyday Voices, where I bring people who are everyday people, but they're doing some extraordinary things. And so I'm so privileged to be able to have this guest that I'm going to introduce to you in one moment. But again, I want you just to share and like and send up those hearts if you're enjoying the conversation. And I also want to just take a moment and to thank God for the great people that, you know, you have to be so grateful for the people that God has placed in your life. And one of the people I'm so grateful for is my friend and my brother, Ricardo Luison. And I want to just share and thank God right now openly how much I thank God for him. I bless him. And so I'm so grateful for Louis Soul Productions, and I'm sure I'm butchering up the creative genius name, but he has been such a critical blessing. And this is his production again tonight. All that you're seeing is because of Ricardo Luison. And so I want to thank God for him and for his creative genius. And I'm telling you, if you want to see your ministry go to another level, you want to get some insight on how to expand where you are for the glory of God, brother Ricardo Luison is that person to go to. And so he has been such a great blessing. I want to openly say, I love you and I thank God for you. And so it is with a lot of great anticipation. You know, I pray about the people that I ask God to bring onto these conversations. It was so funny. Years ago, it was a couple years ago, I was in there talking with Prophet Jones, Prophet Pastor Andre Jones, and we were talking about, you know, how to grow the ministry. And one day we just both looked at each other and said, Everyday Voices. And we looked at each other like, that's it. That's the title. And, you know, God gave us everyday voices and added everyday voices where everyday people are doing extraordinary things. And I'm so glad that I have this opportunity to have this conversation with, and again, I pray about everybody that I bring on. And so this young woman has been someone who has been an extraordinary to me. I met her over 10 years ago. I went to this salon in Brooklyn called Time Salon. And so it was, one of the premier, African-American, and actually for different cultural backgrounds, those that had different types of hair, they would come and flock to this Clinton Hills beauty salon called Time Salon. And I'm telling you, those women in there and those men could do some hair. I'm talking about hair was done tight. I saw a woman walk out with short hair and left looking like Beyonce. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm just saying that's the kind of work that they did. Time Salon was actually broadcast in this movie years ago. It was called Brown Sugar. So it was really a very popular spot. And I met Akilah going in one day, and I had gotten my hair done by the owner and I wasn't able to continue. And I said, well, who here do you suggest that I go to that can really style some short hair? And for those of you that have seen my hair, they may not be tonight, but those of you, it's not bad though. Those of you that have seen my hair when it is tight, this is the woman, this young woman who is a creative beauty. I call her a brilliant genius when it comes to hair. She is excellent. And she's saved, y'all. She is a saved beautician, and she's young, and she just does business at a caliber that just really impressed me for a young entrepreneur. I mean, just the places that she's been, where she's had her businesses, they were all upscale areas, Chelsea, Midtown. I mean, I'm just really well done. I mean, she is such an amazing young entrepreneur. And I just felt led to bring her on tonight just to share a little bit about her story, how she got into entrepreneurship, and how she's making it in these times where we're struggling with so many businesses, small businesses in particular, are struggling. Even the large corporations are struggling in the time of COVID-19. So I want to bring her on, and I want to give her give her a chance to tell her story. And I'm hoping we'll get a chance to even show you a little bit of her hair. So I am going to introduce to you now my hairstylist, Miss Akilah Abrams. We're going to bring her on right now. Wow, there's her hair. Yep. Take a look at these, ladies and gentlemen. These are some of the styles that she has done. Just amazing. We're so wow. As you can see, she does long hair, short hair. She makes different colors and all of those things. And she's COVID-19 conscious, y'all. She's CDC conscious. So this is my hairstylist, Miss Akilah Abrams. Oh, wow.
Hey.
Hi there, Akilah.
Hey, how are you? Hey, everyone. What's up? How are you today?
I am really well. I am super excited about you being here tonight. It has been a long time coming. I remember a couple months ago when I had this conversation with you, and you were just so excited about the opportunity. I was excited to be able to have you to come and just share about your journey as a young entrepreneur. As I shared with the audience, you have really impressed me, because you were young, and of course, you're African American, and you were doing things well. And so you, I remember I came to you over 10 years ago, and I remember, I thank God my mother's genes is up in here. So I'm very appreciative of that. Yeah. But I saw you take my hair and where it was. And I mean, this is me. This is not weave. This is, this is me. No offense to those that wear weave. God bless you. But this is how healthy and the place of health that you brought my hair to, and just the care and the perfection. And I was so impressed, Akilah, because you were young and you were able to really hold it down as a business owner. And so, I'm not going to belabor the point. I want to ask you, tell us who is Akilah Abrams, and, tell us a little bit about who you are and the business that you have.
Well, hello, everyone. First of all, thank you for having me. It is such a blessing to be here on this platform, on your platform that you created, you know, by the grace of God. I'm really appreciative to even be able to speak and, you know, contribute. And I really do hope that somebody is encouraged, somebody is blessed by our conversation. So thank you for having me, Raquel.
Sure.
So I am Akilah Abrams. I am Raquel's hairstylist. I have known her for a very long time. I started when I was 22. And I am 38 now. So it's been a minute. And I went to college for 2 years, and I got into beauty school. I decided to go to beauty school after finishing my second year because I couldn't figure it out. Yeah. It was really one of those things where, like, I knew that I had to, you know, grow up, take care of myself. I have two parents who are actually entrepreneurs. My mom, she has had several businesses running family daycare. She now owns a trucking company. My dad is a carpenter. So I actually come from entrepreneurial parents who are immigrants. They're from Guyana. And they were actually, interestingly, very adamant about me going to school, finishing school, and that was that. You know, that's what they wanted for me. And when I realized that I couldn't figure out what to do, and I was going to incur, you know, the financial burden of college and not, you know, without knowing what to do, I said, you know what, I have to make a decision for myself. Yeah, I have to decide what I'm going to do for me. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to go back to school. And I took a minute. I probably took like a month, and I was really thinking about what to do. And I just thought in my head, I was like, well, maybe I'll go to beauty school. You know, I've been doing literally my mom's hair, you know, she had me doing her hair, you know, and not that I was like so eager to do it, but I just could do it. It was just a natural gift that I had. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to beauty school. I'm going to complete it. I'm going to finish it. It's something that is a good career path that I can start working after 8 months of schooling, and I can like get the ball rolling and I can push right? Yeah. And so I did that. And once I got there, that's when the love started to grow for it.
Interesting.
The true love and appreciation for the craft started to grow once I started. I did it because it was something that I could do. I just could do. But then I began to, the vision started to grow after that. So that's how I got into hair. And, you know, I just committed to it after that. You know, once I saw that I enjoyed it, I was good at it, and I committed to it. And that's really how I delved into the business of hair. And I've been doing it ever since. And I love it.
You know, you said something really interesting, Akilah. You said that, you know, that you were trying to figure it out being in college. And, you know, you may have some young people who are saying the same thing. I don't know how to figure this out. College is, you know, and there's nothing wrong with being college educated. And even if you have your own business, sometimes having that academic background helps to. I was sharing with a young person the other day that is wanting to get into business. I said, well, having an MBA will never be harmful for you. It can only enhance your business. You know, and you said that it was once you started moving into doing hair that you saw, oh my gosh, that I have a real love for that. And so, you know, did that help with having a love for the hair? Did that help you when, you know, when times got tough? Like, you know, did that passion drive you when, you know, there were challenging days?
Definitely the passion drive me, you know, because if you don't have a love for what you're doing, if you don't have that passion, it's very hard to stick to it. You know what I mean? It drove me because I had a reason. I had a reason. I had a love for it. I had a why. I did it because I loved it. I loved interacting with clients. I loved the idea of transformation. I loved working with my hands. It wasn't boring for me. And also, it was a decision that I made for me. You know, I sat and I decided, and it wasn't like mama said, do this, or somebody else said, do that, or somebody else said, try that. It was literally, it came from the inside of me to go to school.
Yeah.
And I think that also too is important because we have so many voices that come from everywhere, especially when we're young. You know what I mean? Even in college, we have our professors telling us all types of things. We're learning, we're a sponge, but I think the things that stick are the things that are really in here. The things that are in your heart that you decide to implement. I think that those are the things that stick, and those are the things that can carry you through any challenging time because it's your heart, it's your decision, it's what you've chosen, it's what God put on your heart. You know what I mean? For those that have faith, it's what God puts in there. So that drive is what keeps me through the hard times, for sure.
You said something so powerful, Akilah. You talked about, I love that. You didn't say, yeah, I'm just doing hair and I'm a hairstylist. You're like, I like to see, you see the bigger picture as transformative. Like when you have people in your chair, you're helping to transform them. That is so powerful because we don't realize that when God calls us to different industries, it is also to showcase our faith. And you're in an industry where, like you said, I'm telling you, you could be feeling just awful and come in with sweats and sneakers. But once I leave your chair, Akilah, I feel like I'm worth $1 billion because you have done something in, like you said, helping my beauty to be enhanced. We've talked about our faith together. And so it's such a powerful tool that I love that you don't just see it as a career, but you also, to way I'm hearing, you see your hair business as ministry. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I see it as ministry. I'll start with this story. I actually, when I actually got saved about a year after I started working during hair. It's so interesting. Like I started to get a desire for the Lord. Like it just started to stir up. I wasn't like witnessed to on the street or anything. It's just like the stirring started. And, Heather at Time Salon, the owner, she used to play, gospel music in the mornings. And it would be like, I would come in and I would sit on the steps and, just stuff started to happen. And, after that, I decided to actually find a church home, join ministry, and I became an usher. And once I realized, like, these two things go hand in hand here. Like, I'm a servant. I serve my clients. And as an usher, you serve the parishioners. Like it's connected for me. So once I started to get into the things of God and serving in church and serving as an usher, hospitality, service, making sure people feel comfortable, showing people where they need to sit down, showing clients what their best self would look like with their hair. It was all connected for me. So yes, I do see the connection in ministry. It is ministry. It's all ministry for me. I'm not just a hairstylist. I am a servant of God. Like I'm a servant. I have the gift of hospitality. I have the gift of service. I love people. I'm blessed to communicate with people. You know what I mean? I call myself like a countenance shifter. I had a client one time.
Wait a minute. Wait. What did you, Rick? I can hear Rick in the spirit say, "What did you just say? You a countenance shifter?"
I'm a countenance shifter.
Oh God!
I'm a countenance shifter, and what I mean by that is
countenance shifter. I see you, Rick. So good. Countenance. She's a countenance shifter.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm a countenance shifter. I had a client one time. He came in. It was a new client, and when what it means to have a low countenance, right? You come in. Your energy is low. Some people say energy. Some people say vibe. It's low, and you're feeling a little like down here. Yeah. And so we talked about her hair. We talked about she didn't really know her possibilities. I talked her through. We looked at styles. We talked about things. She really kind of didn't know what was going to happen, but she just trusted me. She trusted me and she had a small idea of what her possibilities were. But when that thing was done, it was like the light the light came and just like opened her up. Like everything lifted. Her skin tone seemed lighter. Her eyes seemed brighter. It was like so like crazy to me because I was looking at her. I was like, she doesn't look like the same woman. And it was the first time that I felt like it was like the vision of it was crazy. Like I really feel like it was a God moment. And it just made me see that like, yo, like when you change when somebody can see something different on the outside, it's like an immediate change, you know? Sometimes it takes a little bit more to like really learn what's on the inside of you and change your action. But when your appearance changes, it's quick. It's like when you put on a little blush, your cheeks lift, you know, you put on a little brow, your eyes look brighter, you know what I mean? So you know, the joy of like being able to quickly allow somebody to shift their energy and transform their, you know, their spirit to lift them up is like, I love that. Yeah. And that's my ministry. You know what I mean? I didn't only just do it in the salon, but I did it at church. You know, when people were coming in, you know, they were feeling low before the sermon, you know, they felt so happy that I can get them to a seat that was close to the front, you know, so they really, you know, see good and, you know, have space and whatever. Their children can sit with their children and they're not squished. Like all those things, like it's just giving people an opportunity to experience the best, you know, the best of how they look, the best in how they feel. Like, so that's basically, that's all I do.
Akilah, first of all, I'm telling you, I can hear my brother Ricardo and I can hear Pastor Jones right now. They're screaming because you are making such great connections with faith and the marketplace and how you have seen and are showing how the things that we do in we call church ministry is transferable in everyday life. And I love how you've made the connection that my ability to be hospitable, my ability to be courteous, to serve people, even through my doing of the hair and being oh my gosh, that's going to be the hashtag, a countenance shifter. You know, because I've experienced that where I've come in one place and left because my hair was done, or you and I had a wonderful, robust, faith-based conversation. You know, and it's like to be able to trust somebody, you know, because your hair and your face and all of that, it's critical, you know, because that's so important, because that's the first thing people see. And as soon as I walk out of the salon, Akilah, I think especially the men, they are complimenting me. Okay. Especially the men, they are complimenting about and I'm going to get my hair done next week, this Eve, and trust me, I'm going to give everybody. You're going to get a chance to get her information before we leave this broadcast. But that was so rich. Tell me a little bit. I want to expand on this a little bit more, and then we're going to go to a quick commercial. But you talked about things like customer service as a business owner. Tell me how important is being integral and the importance of customer service as a business owner. How important is that for you, especially for somebody who's saying that I know Christ? Because I'm jumping because you said something again so rich to me the other night. Tell me how your faith has played a role in your business, because you shared with me something very powerful. And I know I'm jumping because I'm so excited right now. You said to me, you had a client that didn't pay you, right? And you had to utilize forgiveness in your business. Come on. So, oh gosh, talk to me about what that happened there and how you got through that as a challenge as a business owner. And then how important is integrity and all of those things as a Christ follower in business? Okay, so I'll break that up. I'm sorry, I know I gave you a lot.
I'll start with integrity, you know, integrity and honesty. Honesty is extremely important to me. Doing what's right because it's right is extremely important to me.
Wow.
So if that's my driver, then that's how I'm going to serve my clients. That's how I'm going to live my life, if that's my driver. So that means, my clients, they know clearly what they're coming into. They know how my business operates.
Yep.
They know what they're going to get.
That's true.
And anything popped up on them, they see everything on the website. They see my prices. They know what's going to happen step by step. They know what they can't add to the service, what they can add to the service. Like every little detail is given to them so that, there's no mystery. There's no pop-up. There's no room to feel like they're being taken advantage of. So that's how I view integrity in my business, is just being really honest and clear, being honest about my pricing, why I price the way that I price.
You do.
They're extremely aware of my education. They're aware when I go take classes and when I'm coming back with higher education and learning. They know when I'm gone for a week, 2 weeks.
Yep.
Study, to work on a project, and they understand that factors into what I'm able to give them. So it's no mystery. They know why something costs something.
Yeah.
They know why this is added onto the price because of X, Y, Z. And especially the fact that they're actually getting what I'm saying they're getting. So I've built a confidence, I've built trust. Yes. So integrity, you drive and you work through that, and then you build trust so that there's no question.
Yeah.
There's no question. So that's kind of how I view integrity. And as far as the fruit of the Spirit, forgiveness, being loving and being forgiving, even when you're hurt, having that self-control, not to, just be angry. You can get angry, but you do have to reel it in, and you have to I operate from a place of love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I operate from a place of understanding. So I had a client, she was a long-time client of mine as well. So she, we've built a rapport, we've built trust. And there was this one time where, I trusted her so much that I said, you know what, you're in a rush, you gotta go. Just I sent you the invoice, you got it. Just pay me when you get ready. You know what I mean? When you get settled back at the hotel, because she was going somewhere, doing something. Yeah. And I completely trusted her because she was my client. She wasn't a new client. So when that never came in, I sent her a message, just respectfully. I'm never pressed because, I'm just not. God is my provider. I'm never pressed.
Wait, she is not pressed, y'all.
I'm not pressed. You can't. I really know that no one can take things from you and you just be left, But I'll just leave that there. But stop it, right? You make me laugh. So
you're hitting the nuggets. You are hitting nuggets.
Yeah, but yeah. So she, I didn't hear from her, and I sent her another message. I still didn't hear from her, and I didn't hear from her for it had to be the rest of the year, for a long time. It probably took me 7 months before I heard from her. And I reached out. She didn't reach out to me. Somehow, some way, I was able to get in touch with her, and she responded finally. Wow. And she told me what was going on. She told me what happened. We talked about it, and she told me, her story. And I said, okay, I understand, no worries. And she did mention that she will take care of the bill, but she never did. I don't know why. Yeah. I couldn't understand why. You know what I mean? I just don't know. I couldn't understand. And it was really mind-boggling to me. But I had to really slow down. And I said, you know what? For whatever reason it is, I gotta let it go. Mm-hmm. I can't let this affect how I move on with my other clients. I just have to make sure I continue to do business well. I can't, put the faults of one person on the on the rest of my clients, because so many things went through my head. I'm like, oh, I'm not doing, you know, you in your feelings. So you start shaking your head and you like, I'm not doing this and I'm not doing that no more. And I said, no, Akilah, that's not how you operate. You forgive her, you let it go, and you let her have it. God provides. That's it. You know, and that's where your character comes in. That's where the fruit of the Spirit comes in for me. That's where integrity comes in, and honor, and just trusting in who really is my provider, and just doing what God called me to do, which was serve. So regardless whether they, you know, decide to dip out on the bill or, you know, whatever it is. And that only happened once. This is not a regular occurrence. You know? But whatever happens, it doesn't matter, because my confidence is not just in, you know, what somebody's handing in my hand, or, you know, my confidence is in God. It's in my provider, and that's how I just operate. So it's almost like it's a mashup, you know. Ministry, it's all one thing to me. It's not just my hair life and my life. It's life. It's how I do everything. It's I have character. I walk in the Spirit. I operate in integrity. I forgive my clients. My clients forgive me, thankfully.
Yeah.
Because I'm not always, you know, at my height. You know, it's a struggle to always be on. You know, this business. It's a struggle to serve, even those in ministry. You know, when you're in ministry, you're doing things, you're serving, you're outpouring. It's a struggle to always be on. You know what I mean? And there's times where we fall short. There's times when things get difficult.
That's right.
You know, like I always just come back to what was instilled in me. I always come back to the truth and my belief in how my character and how I've chosen to operate, you know?
Akilah, you have said so much that is just, you just want to take I'm telling you, I want you guys to send up those hearts. I'm telling you, the Lord is speaking through this entrepreneur. Listen, this is a great segue. I just want us to take a quick break, and then we are going to come back. I'm telling you, I want you to digest it. We're going to come back in a quick minute, and Akilah is going to talk about how the Lord has helped her to pivot in the midst of a challenging time called COVID-19. We'll be right back.
Hey there, everybody. This is Minister Raquel Pittman, and I want to give you an awesome opportunity. Yes, I said opportunity to join the Uncompromised movement. You know, when you have a great assignment in the earth, you need collaborators. You need people that will hook up with you to get the job done. Do you know that Jesus had partners? They were called the 12 disciples. Paul had partners that helped him to get the gospel all across the world. According to Philippians 1:5, partnership is biblical. And I want to ask you today, those that partner and participate and sow financially, you are actually partnering with God to get the work of God done and to advance a kingdom agenda in the earth. Part of the vision that God has given me for this marketplace ministry is, guess what? To help people to be successful in the marketplace. Some of the things that I want to do, we find that so many times people are struggling to pay for licensing exams like the LSAT or the MCAT, or even being able to pay for an exam that would help them to get into graduate school, to pay for training certifications. In this ministry, I want to be able to bless people so that they can do what God has called them to do, so that they can go back to school and it's not a struggle. But I need your help to get it done. And so I want to give you this opportunity to sow into the ministry of Uncompromised. You can do that by sowing a one-time gift at $uncompromised for Cash App, or you can become a partner on a reoccurring basis at www.empoweredbythespiritministries.com. You help us to get this work done. Join us in building an uncompromised army in the earth. God bless you, and thank you for your seed.
So welcome back, everybody. I'm telling you this conversation. Listen, if you have not shared this already, I want you to share it. Don't be selfish. Don't be stingy. This woman of God, this hair technician creative is dropping God nuggets about showing us as believers how we bring Christ into our craft. I'm going to say that again because I think that's a hashtag too, how to bring Christ into our craft. And so He wants to be glorified in all that we do. And I'm telling you, Akilah has just, and the things she talked about, integrity and how she is with her clients and how she tells us about when she's taking off, when she's going back to school, when she's not going to be available. I mean, those things, again, I've been with her for over 10 years. So I've experienced it firsthand. And let me tell you this, because of her business ethic and how she carries herself, and of course, her ability to do hair is why I've been a customer for hers for over 10 years and would recommend her bar none to every person that would ask me, do you know of a hairstylist? And so I'm so grateful to have her back after the quick break. And thank God. I just want to say really quickly, thank you to all of you. I may not have had an opportunity for those of you that did partner with me in ministry in this past year. As you saw the other day, we were able to take some gifts out to people, over 50 people in the streets of New York City, and hand out some really nice things like socks and PPE equipment, and just be a blessing and also be able to share with them the love of God. And so that's what it's all about. And again, if you partner with this ministry, know that your seed is going into ground that is going to take this gospel to the world in very creative and innovative ways. And again, we want to build an uncompromised army out in the marketplace, and you help us to get it done. So thank you for those that have partnered and will partner with us into the new year. We need your help, and every seed, we thank God for you already in advance. And so we're going to continue because she has just said so many things that have been pivotal, and we're winding down. But Akilah, we've been hearing a lot on the news about how people, particularly small businesses, have been struggling in COVID-19. We've had to deal with shutdowns, start up and close this week and open up this week. And, you're a business owner. You don't have the luxury of having a 9 to 5 and, and even that, some people are losing their jobs. But you're a business owner in the city of New York that took the greatest hit of COVID-19. Can you tell us as a Christian, as a business owner, how did you get through this challenging time? How did you pivot? What turn did you do to make your business still stay thriving and successful even during this very challenging year? Can you tell us some of your business and just God ideas?
Well, yes, it's been extremely challenging. And I think I'm still in the midst of pivoting. Like, I'm on the curve turning. Like, I haven't gotten on the next path yet, but I am making my way around the bend. I'm literally making decisions now. We've been back to work since June 20th. It's been really challenging, with, just the needs of your clients changing, the needs of just humanity is different. Like, we are looking at things differently and things are changing. But I made a decision. To stay committed to the business.
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers, but I do have steps that I'm taking, to continue on. Like I said, the first thing is making the decision to continue, making the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to stay committed to the business. I'm going to continue to fight, even though, the numbers are low right now, or everything may not be adding up, or I, have more bills than I had before, or I have debt incurring. I just chose to continue because it is on my heart to continue.
Wow.
And so once I made that decision, my mind changed. So I was able to present to my clients excited, and not being fearful, First, they're the most important thing in the business. I mean, if I didn't have them to serve, then I wouldn't have a business.
Yeah.
You know? So I have to make sure that I am able to still provide service and provide an excellent service for them with the same energy and life that I brought to them before COVID. I have to provide that same, or if not more, because we need it more. We need more encouragement. You know, my clients are going through so many challenges themselves. You know what I mean? It's not only me that's struggling. My clients are taking cuts in their businesses. Like, so much stuff is happening. But the way that I am combating the difficulties is staying committed and serving them. You know, I'm making the decision also to say yes and do things that I haven't done before. You know, I was very focused on, you know, in client service, not really too engulfed in social media, but times have changed. You know, you have to present differently. You have to, you know, if you want to reach more people, you have to reach them in a different way. So I'm saying yes to engaging in social media, engaging with, you know, followers on social media. I'm really like, initially, I could just sit in the corner and be fine. Like, stay at the salon and like, you know, roll them out, make them happy there, and nobody else has to see anything. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm having to make different decisions because that's just not.
That's so good.
Everything has changed, you know. Differently. Like, you're on this platform, you started doing your conferences, and now you have to step into this space, you know, to do something different. And so I'm saying yes to those things. I'm saying yes to starting a YouTube channel. I'm saying yes to speaking more on social media. I'm saying yes to this interview, to talk to you. You know what I mean? Just to share my story. I didn't share my story a lot. You know, hair is what most people know about me. You know, that's what they know. They don't know much about, you know, my parents, unless you're really close. They don't know much about how I grew up, where I came from. Like, I'm just a quiet soul, you know, and I keep to myself, but I'm sharing myself. Like, I'm making the decision to share myself, share my story, present myself in a different way, just shine my light, you know, shine the love of God on the inside of me, like, share my faith, you know. And those are not like, you know, those practical things like shifting my money or selling a product, or, you know, yes, I'm doing all those things, but like, for me, I needed to change my mindset, and I needed to be able to have like my heart focused on service always, not just taking, not only consumerism, not only, you know, how am I going to make more money? Like, it's not, I can't lead with that. I never was able to lead with that. Although it is important for those that are doing business.
Love that.
Very important.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I am thinking
with
about
that. Right.
I don't lead with that. I'm definitely thinking about things, but I don't lead with that. So I would prefer to say, like, in answering those questions, I think you have to start with your why and why you're doing what you're doing. And you have to start with heart. You have to start with, you know, making a decision to stay committed to what God called you to do.
Yeah.
You know? And then everything else can come from that.
Akilah, that is so rich. And, you know, I want to say to any, you know, burgeoning, you know, blooming, blossoming entrepreneur, somebody who's uncomfortable with, you know, working a 9-to-5, young people. I know millennials, my Cheyenne, and other young people now that they're pivoting into trying to get into entrepreneurship. Hear what Akilah is saying. She's saying she knows what her why is. She leads from a place of serving. And, you know, I love what you said, Akilah. You had to make a decision to shift. And just like you said with my conference, I did not want to do a virtual conference this year, you know, but it took that parrot, you know, it took, you know, it's so funny for some people, COVID-19 has been a blessing in disguise, because I think it moved people out of stagnation, whether it be in the ministry as we know it, or in ministry in the marketplace. Like you said, now you're engaging more with social media and doing other things. And, you know, to come out of that, you know, that everyday, you know, just kind of mundane, you know, existence. So we've all had to pivot. And I love that you've made some decisions that says, I can't stay comfortable anymore. And I need to make some transition in order for my business to stay thriving in the midst of this challenging time. Yeah. That is so rich.
I also want to say it's also important to have people who also know your why, people in your corner, by your side, mentors, encouragers. I don't know, whether it be your parents or somebody who knew why you started the business in the first place. Like, if I didn't have that, I don't know if I could even came to the decision to stay committed, because I can't do it on my own either. Like, you know, I had friends that continue to remind me who I was when I thought that, you know, like, what else am I gonna do? You know, I'm behind the chair, I'm in the salon, like, now I don't have it. It's been 3 months. Like, I had to literally figure out how to come back to a better version of myself. And my friends, my mentors reminded me of what I've already done and what I am capable of doing.
Wait, tears are getting ready to come to my eyes. I can hear Rick screaming. I hear Rick screaming. You said your mentor. You just hit my next question. You said my mentors. Ooh, I can hear Rick. I hear Rick. Your mentors reminded you, my God, of your why.
Yeah.
And that kept you pushing. Tell us. I see you, Rick, your destiny helper. Tell us, Akilah, how important it is for you to have mentors, even in the business industry. You spoke to it already, but just elaborate that on a little bit more. Why is it important to, I have mentors in ministry that remind me, that you're called, that that you are called to preach the gospel. When I feel like I'm failing, or I feel like I didn't preach too good or something, they were like, no, God's hand is on you. You better keep going. You're going to pick yourself up. How important it is in business to have mentors. That was so rich.
It's important because of that very reason that you just said. When you feel like, you're not good enough, or when you feel like you didn't preach good, those feelings are always going to come, right? You're always going to have opposing thoughts to the truth of who you are. So when those opposing thoughts come, if you are not strong, sometimes we're not strong enough on our own to battle those thoughts. You know what I mean? Sometimes they get too overwhelming. You know what I mean? When we're, even during COVID, we're by ourselves. Like, we're in our house by ourselves. Some people don't have anybody that they live with. Some people are alone with their thoughts. Yeah. And when you don't have anybody else to remind you, to talk to, thank God I have faith. I have the word of God. I have prayer that I can run to. But then there's some people who have yet to find that space, that connection with God, to receive salvation. They have people that are yet to find that, but they do have somebody maybe that loves them. They have somebody in their life that speaks life. You know what I mean? And I believe that's God's voice. I believe anyone who speaks love and life, it's the voice of God, because God is love and He is life. So I think that we need someone else, because we're made for each other. We're made to be together. One person can't stand alone and just do it all. Right. We need somebody to speak to us. We need somebody to remind us when we're down. We need somebody when we're bombarded, when that difficult things happen, when maybe you lost a deal, or you lost a contract, or you lost something, for somebody to say, no, like, go ahead and continue. Remember that other idea, but what you said about this, or what you said about that. Somebody needs to remind you so that you can keep on going. But if you have no reminders, you could just sit in that defeat, that sadness. You know what I mean? So that's why it's important to have a mentor. It's important to have a friend. Sometimes it's not the people, it's not our blood family. Sometimes it's distant family. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's people that a stranger on the street. Oh my gosh. Like, I take advice and mentorship and guidance from, it could be anywhere. I mean, like, I could be just being in tune with what's around me. Like, I could be on the train and I hear somebody having a conversation, or, talking to their own friend, and something hits me. I could be watching like a movie, Marvel or something crazy. And like, I'm hearing encouragement, like just being in tune to be able to hear from someone else. Like, and I may have gone off on a tangent, but yes, it is important to have a mentor or have somebody that can speak to you, because you need that help. You need that reminder. Because
that is so rich. I mean, I think the mentorship thing is not pushed enough, even in the business industry, because, again, like you said, they can talk about their disappointments, their failures, and how they kept going. And it's so, like you said, and they're able to have, be able to speak life to that person because they've been there. And so, being, like you said, to have the person that says, even though I lost that, you lost that contract last week, or, you had to shut down for a week during COVID, and you'll say, well, maybe I need to shut down the business. And he's like, no, don't you go anywhere. You're going to weather this storm. Mm-hmm. And so I want to say to those of you, and I'm going to ask her one more question and maybe open up for one or two in the audience who may have a question for her. But I want to say to anybody right now that is thinking about business or is in a small business and is struggling, don't give up. I believe Akilah is here tonight to encourage you to say, hold on, keep going, and that God will be there to help you. And so I just want to just share that with you tonight. Don't quit in your business. And even if you have an idea, continue to allow God to grow it and ask God to send you mentors. Ask people that believe in your vision, believe in your why, and don't give up and keep going. I mean, all right, I know, because we are a little over the time, but it's just been, because this conversation is awesome. Mm-hmm. I want you to just share really quickly, and then I'm going to open it up for any one or two questions. What advice would you give to those who are listening right now? What are some of your success takeaways that have helped you to make it? And somebody that may be thinking about opening a business or continue in a small business, what would you give on, like, say, your parting comments to them? How would you encourage them and give them tips for success?
I think for the person who is thinking about starting a business, who's had yet to start, I think that if they have an idea or a vision, if they have something that they're thinking about, I would say to trust it. Share it if you can share with somebody that you can trust, and then find the first step and just take that first step.
Good. So good.
And I think it's as simple as that. I think that if because you have it, right? If you can think something and you have a vision about something, you have an idea, if you have somebody you can run it by, to hear feedback of some sort that can give you a little bit more reinforcement and assurance to say, okay, well, maybe I do have something, then just step out on faith, find that whatever that first step is, and just take the first step.
Yeah.
And don't go ahead of yourself. Don't take 2 steps ahead of your first. Just find the first step and just take that step and see where it takes you, And that's like kind of like believing in yourself, believing in, that you have an idea and also too, like, if you're a person who hasn't started, like, I know that this was one of my struggles too. Like, if you see other people doing something that looks similar to yours, or, you feel like, oh, well, what's so special about mine? Don't allow those thoughts to get in. What's yours is yours. What you have on your heart is yours. And you are unique. You're a unique individual, and you should just go with what you have on your heart. So that's what I would say to somebody who's starting off. Anybody in business already, to continue on, I would say, remember your why. I go back to that again. Remember your why,
so good.
And find out the reason why you were doing it in the first place, and continue in that. And I will also say to you, it's important to be able to be flexible and to make changes. Don't be afraid of making a change or making a shift, changing your business model, doing something that you haven't done before. It may sound crazy, but don't be afraid to be flexible to make the changes, because that's what an entrepreneur does. They have the ability to make whatever changes it is that they want to make, because it's their baby, it's their business. So I would say yes, be flexible and remember your why.
So good. That is so rich. Woo! This is good. Oh, we do have a question. And I love Cheyenne, a burgeoning, budding entrepreneur. She was like, remember your why. Yes, Cheyenne, you have to remember your why God put you in business, because that's what's going to drive you. So there's a question, Akilah. It says, how do you find someone who shares your vision? How do you find someone who shares in your vision?
Well, that question, if you're looking for maybe partnership, I'm not sure if you're asking in reference to partnership, or are you asking in reference to somebody who will agree with what you're doing? I would say, if you want to you can only find someone who shares or agrees with your business by engaging with the person, listening to them, talking to them, learning about what their likes and what their values are. You know what I mean? And then you'll begin to realize, and then maybe when you feel comfortable, you share your vision and see if there is a connection. I'm not sure what angle she's coming from with that, but it could be different angles. But I think you just have to engage with somebody and see who that person is to know if you share a vision. Like, you have to share what your values are. Do you have values that are similar? You know, do you like the same things? Do they work or move like you? Like, do you guys have the same beliefs or same dialogue? Like, there gotta be some similarity, but that can only happen when you engage with the person. I hope that answers.
Thank you. And if Bilgis, if you need any more clarification, just let me know. The questions are coming in. Someone asked, I have a question from Alvis, I'm going to share. And then I have one question from YouTube is saying,
Elvis is my cousin.
Hey, Elvis. One question from YouTube. Did you need startup money to start your business?
Actually, well, yes, because I had to go to school. Well, that was the startup money, I guess. But yes, I needed different amounts of startup money at different stages. I needed startup money to go to school because I didn't have any. I paid for it out my pocket, so I just did what I had to do. I was working at Wendy's. That was my job when I was younger, 22. I worked at Wendy's. So, and that's another thing. You got to be able to do work wherever you need to work so that you can fund your business.
Say that again, please.
Work wherever you need to work so you can fund your business. Do what you got to do to fund your business. So I had to work at Wendy's when I came to New York. My mom was like, I'm not paying for you. Because she wasn't happy, remember? So I had to do what I had to do. So Wendy's was my job. I got a job at Victoria's Secret. I did all types of stuff. But I paid for school and then I went. But at different stages, you need different amounts of money. When I chose to get into opening my suite, I definitely needed a different amount of money because I had to design the suite. I had to buy the furniture and build the chair. So it depends on what stage you're at. Yes.
Good. That's so good. Thank you for answering that. I got another question. What are the best ways to invest in your business? This is from Elvis.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of ways you can invest in your business, but I think education, investing, educating yourself in your craft. Whatever it is that you want to, whatever service you want to provide, you want to be the best at as you can as providing that service. So educate yourself, the ins, the outs, the ups and downs of whatever it is that you're doing. Put those dollars towards whatever education you need. Invest. That's how you invest in yourself first, so that you can get a return, like on your investment. So education is the biggest thing, I think. And then find ways to invest in other people after you've learned, after you've gotten the information you needed. Like, I think investing is always happening once you get into the motion of it. So I hope that answered the question.
Ooh, that answered it for me. I mean, that answered it. I am big on education, and I can hear Rick screaming virtually that you being able to go back. I remember, Akilah, as we wind this down, I remember you was like, I'm going back to school. I got to learn how to cut hair because I want to increase my business. Like, you did what you needed to do to stay cutting edge. And people, like you said, we don't be, like you said, education. Like I said, I shared with the young millennial the other week. I was like, listen, Cheyenne, you want to start a business, you want to know the ins and outs, get your MBA. College is only help advance you. It's not going to take away from you. And Akilah, I could hear Rick screaming again. I could scream on, do whatever you need to do on your way to building your business. Don't say you're getting ready to quit your job.
Yes.
You're talking about, I'm going to start a business, and you have no capital. No income. It is out of order and is not.
I tell my sister all the time, I'm like, work whatever job you need to work. If you can't quit your job right now, it's okay. It is a tool. It's a tool to fund your vision. It's a tool to fund your dream. And don't discount it. Don't despise your small beginnings. Like, don't do that. You have to utilize those things so you can get where you need to go.
Oh my gosh. Listen, we can stay here. Okay, I got one more question, and this will be quick. We're going to end. Someone's asking, what about marketing your business? How do you start marketing your business?
Marketing has been a big challenge for me, but I would say, depending on what business you have, as far as freebie goes, free marketing is social media. You don't have to pay for Instagram right now. You don't have to pay for Facebook right now. You don't have to pay for YouTube right now. So utilize whatever free marketing tools are out there. LinkedIn, like I said, it depends on what business you're in. Utilize free as much as you can, and then learn, what are the other ways that you can market your business. There's ads and things like that, paid ads, getting your email list up, building your website, and creating content or dialogue or driving traffic there through your social media handles. Like, it's a few ways to do it, but I think you should, I would always say, start with the free ones first, because you have access to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. You have friends on Facebook already. They have friends and they have friends. So it's you putting yourself in front of so many people, and you can market that way.
Well, speaking about marketing, this has been a phenomenal. Can we give some hand clapping for my guest, Akilah Abrams, and talking about marketing? I want to just share her information. Akilah, tell folks, if they want to come get their hair did, if they want to get a COVID sensitive CDC guideline fierce haircut, where can they come? How can they connect with you if they want to do so? And her information, for those of you watching, is also on the bottom of the screen, but I want to give her a chance to, how do they connect with you to get their hair done, or just reach out to you?
If you want to reach out to me, book an appointment, ask me any questions, have a conversation, even if it's not hair related, whatever related, business related, personally related, whatever you want. You can hit me up on my website at www.artistryxakilah.com. You can just go right to the chat button and send me an email, and you can reach me on Facebook at artistryxakilah, and Instagram, you can reach me at Artistry Ateliers Inc. And it's all on the screen going across there so you can see the spelling. But you can reach me all those three ways. So whatever questions you have, I can definitely answer them.
And I am, I mean, come on, let's give God some praise. Let's give some hand claps for my guest, Akilah Abrams. Akilah, you have just been absolutely a breath of fresh air. I'm so thankful that you took the time out of your busy schedule to come and be with us on this platform. And I know that folks have they've gleaned from the nuggets that you have really shared with us today. I'm excited about your future, and I'm excited about, and we are going to be praying. I want all of the saints. I see the prayer warriors also on this Facebook. I want us to pray for Akilah's business. She is a God person. She is a tither. Let's pray that God. I mean, I'm going to share this real quick. Somebody tried to come in the last time I was there a couple of weeks ago and was talking about the business or everybody's business shutting down. I would told Akilah the devil is. Her salon is not shutting down. It's not going to be closed. She's going to be open for business, especially because Raquel Pittman got to get her done.
Amen.
So can y'all just pray for her and pray that God will continue to prosper this young woman, businesswoman, child of God, continue to prosper her in her life, spiritually, naturally, and in every way. Akilah, I thank you. I really
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being on this platform. Everybody tonight, I want to say just God bless you. Thank you so much for joining us for Everyday Voices. Again, we are going to be doing this quite a bit next year. Again, bringing in people who are specialists, bringing in people who can add value to your life, to your ministry, to your careers, and teaching us how to do it with excellence and without compromise. Amen. That's the theme, the core of this ministry, to teach us how to go out into all the world and bring this gospel in whatever industry God has called us to, yet without compromising our biblical values. So I want to say thank you so much for being a part of us. And I am believing, God, that we are going to have the greatest year coming up of our lives, because we're going to make right decisions. We're going to get connected to the right people. We're going to have mentors. We're going to pray God bring in right people in our lives that we can share our vision with, who can help us push out what God has called us to do in this hour. So again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm so glad you were a part. I know you were blessed. And thank you for all of those that have given, will give. Again, you are going to be blessed, because the seed that you sow is going to produce a harvest out of the ground you put it in. And I tell you, this is fruitful ground. Uncompromised, Empowered by the Spirit Ministries is fruitful ground. So I thank God for you always. And I love you and thank God for you. Brother Rick, we're getting ready to say good night. And to those of you who have joined us, remember to stay uncompromised. Happy New Year. And I'll see you in 2021. God bless.